Well, hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Cities Skylines with me, Mr. Potato Head, and we're back here in the city of Birna Tarn where traffic's just unbelievable. I knew it would be bad when I built this area in the last episode, but I won't lie, I didn't necessarily expect it to get this bad. But it's not just here, it's kind of in this junction too, which I've kind of reworked since the last episode, made it look a little bit more realistic. It's a bit lumpy and bumpy, but not bad for vanilla. But you can see off to the left hand side there's a lot of traffic, and then this area has just plagued us with traffic ever since we started. You can see over at the back there's traffic almost going all the way into the city of Takani. This main kind of road we have, arterial road in the city, is just always full of traffic. So I know what you're thinking. You're thinking this is going to be a traffic fixing episode, and the first thing we're going to do is get rid of all of this traffic we can see here. Well, if that's what you're thinking, you'd be wrong, because what we actually need to do is make the problem a hell of a lot worse before we make it any better, so that we can get to that next population milestone. So what I'm going to do is reroute this power cable. That frees up a bit of land for us, and then we're going to continue to develop out this area called Lowlands, which is what we built in the last episode. And I've got a bit of an idea of how I want to do this. I want to incorporate this department store asset, which I think is a really cool asset actually when you see it, especially if you're building an area with the European style buildings, which this one is. And then we've got kind of a roundabout running around that as well, which is cool. And then we're just going to fit in this road from the previous grid. We'll work on the terrain here a little bit before we kind of run this one out. That can feed in there, and then we can kind of somehow this kind of a little mini S shape kind of thing to get that to fit into there. Nice, that's pretty good. That can continue there. And let's just pull this terrain all the way back. It's already a bit crazy. We'll sort it out later. Now, I want this to be a grid, but I don't want it to be a perfect grid so that there's not easy cut throughs. It doesn't make sense too much. And the way we've worked the terrain, we can kind of make it fit in how we like. We can have one kind of come this way, that can come all the way down. Bit of a cul-de-sac into here so that there's not too many connections on that kind of central roundabout kind of thing. Another cul-de-sac in there, and that should be good. So we'll add some paths in, so there's lots of pedestrian connectivity around here as well. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. And then let's fix our water pipes. We'll keep them under the road as much as we can. I know there's some, because our sewage is across the river there, so we have to kind of do that. That can run straight up the hill. Very good. Right, and then around that central department store, lots of high density residential will be good. But that's very noisy, so we're going to have to surround that all with offices. And you can see we do actually have demand for residential and industrial, which offices covers as well. So that's all good. Before anything starts growing, let's expand the district out here so we get those nice European style buildings. And then add in a couple of services. So we've actually got this massive hospital across here, which we kind of temporarily placed across there before. We'll put a bit of death care in here. That should be fine. Fire. Yeah, we can maybe do with a fire station over here. Police. Yep, and we're going to try and keep it near those noisy areas so that these are themselves can act as a buffer. High school we should be fine, but elementary school we'll put in. A couple of parks for people. There is actually that big Christmas park just over to the right, so you know they don't need too many parks. And then the rest of this is all just going to be high density residential zoning. Let's put it in, and to be honest, we can probably just block zone this all in one go like that. Nice. So I'm going to lower the taxes right down, and you can see immediately we get a bit of residential demand coming in. No longer any need for that power line there. And we can actually run that power line across there. And that should be all good now. So let's just sit and wait for that to zone in. we go, capital city, 32,000 population. So we've unlocked a new area we can finally buy, but let's have a look. And 72% traffic flow. So, you know, like I said, it's going to get worse before it gets better. Bear with me. But we have other issues. We're running very low on water and sewage treatment, and the budget is already maxed out. So I was going to rework this, so we might as well do it now before we experience too many problems. So doing a bit of maths, looking at how much sewage production we have and draining capacity that we need, I think we can use some of these new eco inland advanced water treatment plants. And I think we're going to need about 4 of them to have the capacity that we need for the city. So I'm going to flatten out an area here so that we're still close to the water, and I'm going to build a little complex inland so that we're not pumping sewage into the river like we have done previously, or the lake like we have done previously. You know, this is an industrial area by the train line, so I don't think it will matter too much. And I want to fit them in kind of around here. So I'm going to run that road off there. Don't want them actually feeding onto that main road. And then let's try and... No, that's not far enough. Bring that out a bit more. Let's just flatten out a bit more space for us to there. That can come to here. So I don't think... No, hang on. No, one more. Third time lucky. And then now we'll be able to fit 2 more in there, link them all up and have that connect, and that should give us about the sewage capacity that we need. Tidy up some of our sewage cables now, or water pipes. There's already one under the bridge there, so that's excellent. Make sure we connect that up so that we've got power to everywhere. And then the other thing we need is water. So I want to get rid of that because I don't think they're particularly reasonable anyway. And what we actually have access to is these large water towers which have much higher capacity, so I'm going to get rid of some of our old ones and replace them. And again, doing the maths, I don't think we'll actually need too many of these. I'm going to get rid of these, put one in, delete that, and then let's see if we can squeeze one more in somewhere just so we have the right capacity. That'd be nice. So we can bring that down, but what you can see that will do is we'll have hopefully enough sewage and water treatment available, but the problem we're going to have now is electricity. And the reason for that is because now I've lowered the budget, we don't have enough heating available, so people are using that instead. So what we're going to do is flatten out another bit of land. I think this is a use we can squeeze in down here with it, pop that in and put the heating in. And that should leave us in a pretty good position. But the problem is you can see all this from across the river now. So let's delete these power lines, make sure everything's connected back up, and let's try and hide that. Go, nothing that a bit of vegetation and trees can't hide, so I'm happy with that now. And so that leaves us in a pretty good position down here, and we can finally get to the point of buying that new tile and doing a bit of traffic fixing. So we've got this gravel road that I put in as a reminder to myself, but what we need to do is flatten out a pad up at the top here, because this is where we're going to build some kind of interchange. We'll have to work that out, but then we have to work out how we're going to get this down to here. So we'll try and slope it. Bit crazy, not really working. Let's try that again. Let's try it with a bit of a bigger brush size, that might help. Here we go, now we're talking. Yeah, and that's good. There was already a slope there, so it's just changing it a little bit. And then let's clear the trees so we have space for a road. And then we'll get just the 2-way highway at the moment, and we'll run this up the hill nicely, leave it here. And then we're going to have to work out the connection. Not too bad at all, that. A bit lumpy and bumpy, but about the best we can do in a quick job in vanilla. So we'll clear some space for the trees here, and there's a couple of easy connections we'll be able to make. This one, for example, we'll probably change it, but that's going to happen. And then this one's going to go into here if we can find a nice angle to do so. Yeah, that'll probably have to do. But it's this other side that's going to be challenging. How we're going to get across. So we'll have one do that in this way like that, and then we'll have one come off, and it's going to be some kind of trumpet interchange, so we can bring that around. So let's get the bridge over in, and then we can work on the connections. Might be best if I turn off all my snap twos. I'll be able to do that. And then what I want is these bridge slope sections to be as smooth as possible. There we go. Yeah, exactly like that. And then let's connect these up. That was actually a lot less painful than I thought it was going to be, so that was good. Do it over on this side too, so we'll just run that back a little bit and connect up that main road first. Oh, let's just take one more node back and then get a nice smooth connection in there. And then we'll connect in these side roads. We can actually bring this back a bit further. I want it to be nice and compact, everything in here. And then this side, can we connect that? Too short. Go on. Nice. And that will work straight away. We can just tidy this up a little bit more. And then we can click play. And I think people will start using that straight away pretty much. Bit of lame mathematics just to make it run a bit smoother. Not the best thing. I'm not sure it's the most realistic in the world, but it will work. And you can see people are using it straight away. So that's all good. But now we need to work out down here, because what we don't want to do is just funnel everybody in to that four-way interchange by the bridge. So I think a little bit of a roundabout in here will be exactly what we need to disperse the traffic a little bit. So we'll use a gravel road to create our guidelines, 120 in each direction, and then just a two-way roundabout going around like this. Now, how are we going to connect this up? I'd like to do something clever where we can kind of bypass the roundabout with through traffic, maybe something like this, but actually that's not going to work, is it? I don't think. No, delete that, bring this back, and we'll just have the main road feed into this. Well, this is one way, but we can, that's it. There we go, two-lane road like that. And then this is going to run along the bottom, divert past the roundabout, and that will connect up down there in the future, go off under the bridge however far we can. And then we'll link this around like that. And this can come up to connect at the top. And then you can see we've got a nice little area in the middle there we'll be able to develop. Get that going, heavily used straight away. And then I think in here, we'll put some asymmetrical lanes in to help the traffic as much as possible. Yep, they're all the right way around. Some traffic lights. And then I don't like this sharp bend here. So let's do a nice smooth one. And then mostly already got asymmetric lanes here, but one more will help. And then traffic lights again. And then what's going on this road? Why isn't traffic moving as much? I think it's this tiny little node in the middle here. Look, it's holding people up. So that's an easy fix. We can shuffle things around and make this road connect in here. It won't be too busy anyway, so that won't be too much of a problem. Put these fences back in. I think we kind of could do with a bit of a pedestrian connection through here. So clear that out. Gravel path, nice and easy. Fences back in. Probably put a few of those trees back in that we deleted just to keep it looking nice. Okay, and then road priorities and maybe some asymmetric lanes here as well, just to help turning people get through. There you go, look at that, much smoother already. Traffic isn't stopping along there. And this queue joining this road, coming down the windy road is still really long, but hopefully fewer people are joining the back of it now because they've got that other access to get down to this area. So that's good. Everything seems to be flowing. It's busy, but everything seems to be flowing fairly smoothly. Up here, looking nice. Look how heavily utilized that is. We're having a bit of roundabout trouble here. Let's just put a stop sign in there so that people on the roundabout get priority. Yeah, everything's working nicely. Oh, now we've got sewage and heating. Oh no, that's not connected. How did that happen? So let's delete these power lines. Make sure everything's connected back up. Okay, get that connected back up and that should solve everything. Heating availability again, that's because electricity will come available. Yeah, there we go. Hang on, as people stop using the electricity for heating, we'll have more available. So we will put a couple more wind turbines in just along here and connect that up. And then I want to sort out these slopes, hide a bit of the terrain work we did, make it look a bit more natural. So let's see what we can do. Okay, and then another thing I want to do is connect this area up to the city at large with some public transport, and I think the best way to do that is going to be a cable car stop. So we've got the one down there, and then I want the ones up in the town here to interface nicely with other public transit. So we've got that bus line there, which will be nice, and then I want one in here to interface with the trolleybus stop as well. So this will be a bit challenging. Right on a hill, so we're gonna have to think about how to do this, because I need it to be able to pass straight through. This isn't going to be an end of the line cable car stop, because we are going to go out across the water as well. That would do for now if we can get that. Yeah, that cable will go there. Okay, and we are going to have to destroy houses. That's just kind of how it is with these cable cars. But I think that's good. We can squeeze it in, destroy as few as possible, connect it up where we can. Yep, nice. And then let's come out this way. And then we kind of need to come down the side of the ore industry. We could maybe add a stop into the ore industry actually as well. I'm not going to right now, but it's something I might do in the future. And there you go, that's connected in. So now we need to get across the lake, because we've got this stop here. We need to swap it for not an end of line stop so it can pass through. And actually I think I want this on this side because of where the cables will have to go. Now you've got to be careful with the angle of these cables. They can't go at like 90 degrees or anything like that. So it's sometimes a bit tricky to get them to fit in exactly how you want them to. Nope, too sharp, too sharp. Can we connect them up? Almost. There we go, nice. And then now we want this to come out, and we're going to go straight across the tarn and connect up with the line like we already did. Nice, except they're a bit low. I'm going to maybe raise those up. I think they'll just look, yeah, I think that looks more natural, just being that slight bit higher across the water. Come on, snap to it. Why isn't it snapping to it? Let's try from this end then. So we'll bring that up and out. Come on, snap together. Nope, they're not together. Come on, we can do it. Come on. No, it just doesn't want to do it, does it? There we go, we got it. Okay, bring that out and into there. Perfect, happy with that. Bit weird in places, there's still a bit of work to do. We seem to have some death care problems, so we'll solve that. But now what I want to do is add a bus line in down here. So we'll add another bus depot, and then this will be just kind of a loop around the lowlands area. As we develop more out here, we'll probably have to come up with a better solution than this, but this will do exactly what we need it to. Serve this area and get everybody over to the cable car. So we'll keep an eye on that, because I'm guessing it's going to be very heavily used. But I'm really happy with that connectivity we've got. You can see people are using it straight away, and now you can come up into town. Oh, lots of death care problems, so let's squeeze one of them in somewhere. You got the cable car stop here, and you can see people are coming off the trolley bus already and getting onto that cable car, and they can go either way from there, either go across the tarn or down to lowlands. So that's really good, very heavily used. Then we can come across the tarn, and again, cable car stop here. People are still using and interfacing with the trolley bus over here as well, so that's great. People still using all these stops, and then right down into the city of Takani. And I was right, this bus line is very heavily used, so we'll add a few extra buses onto that route. But what I want to do now is jump in and let's go for a little ride. And there we go, that was pretty nice. 1,136 people serviced. That's absolutely incredible, and you can just see how busy it is already. So many people. The buses are so heavily used, I think I'm going to have to add bus lanes along here. But you can just see the people coming in and out of that is incredible. This is all cleared up, look at that. No traffic anywhere now, which is excellent. This is flowing nicely, up here's flowing nicely. What about over here? Ah, not bad, could be better. So let's do a traffic flow check. We can come over here. Look, it's all gone. 88%, 90% we've got up to. And I have seen that get as high as 92%. I'm going to leave it here for today. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Whatever you're doing for the rest of your day, enjoy it. And I'll see you in the next one.